Hey everybody, welcome back. We're here with another retro console here. This time we have the Retroid Pocket 4. I don't know if you can see that. It is a clear case. This is the Pro version, which is like $200. There is a non-Pro version that is like $180, and we're talking about prices from the actual, website. Of course, you could buy these all sorts of different places like Amazon and a couple other third-party resellers. This is an Android-based retro, more geared towards retro more than anything else, but it is just fundamentally an old phone that just doesn't have a cellular or anything, so it has Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, USB charging, audio port, and then pretty good buttons on here. We got Holophix sticks and buttons, I believe. I don't really give a crap about that. I know a lot of people are like, oh, it has to be Holophix. It's like it. I have an original 360 wire controller that has no drift. Other problems happen with the controller before the sticks give out. So if you're into that, that's cool. But yeah, I feel like this is great in the hand. For comparison here, we have the Anbernic RG35xSP, which is I've done a video on this. This thing is awesome, but this was like hurting my finger. Like, this is perfect, but I needed something bigger, and I wanted to upgrade. And for comparison here, too, we have a Steam Deck. This is the 512 version, upgraded with a 2 terabyte SD card. So this is pretty cool. So why would you want this? If you're looking for more retro games, so this pretty much supports everything to PSP and like PlayStation 1, N64. You can do DS on here, though I wouldn't recommend because it's just not a good experience. You could switch the screens from like, hey, this is the top screen here. This would be the bottom screen. But this is more of like, hey, if you want anything before GBA and PSP, this is great. This is significantly cheaper. You can easily get this for like 60. What the hell is this? Where did this come from? What is this? Oh, it's a button. A button popped out of this. Where did this button come from? What the hell? Wow. That's weird. That's really weird. Is it like one of these? No. I don't know where that goes. But this is more like, hey, you wanted to do more. And the thing with this is that the Anbernic is a Linux-based system, a custom OS, while this is full-blown Android. You do have to, like, it is, if you're worried about security, it is a Chinese kind of phone, and they're cheap, but it's like, I feel like this is like pretty good. You do have to like bypass some stuff to. It's super easy to get Google Play on here. So let's open this baby up. We got this. So yeah, that's like one of the big advantages between like having an Android device and a Linux device. This is, again, significantly cheaper. You're going to have a lot better battery life with this, but you have a lot more power in here. Mainly Dolphin emulation, which is actually kind of what I want. So if you want Dolphin emulation, you would probably want to go with this. This does PS2, though I'm not really a big, huge PS2 kind of fan. I've heard some people do Switch. I feel like that's a really gray market. Because it's a console that you could buy. You could probably get a Switch for just as much as this, and play a lot of the games you're going to want, but gray area. But also you can have like, Asphalt on here, Horizon Chase, a bunch of Android games on here. I've tried playing Fortnite on here. It runs fine, but it has a lot of artifacts and all that. So let's push it to the limits here. Let's get a and of course the configuration is A, B, X, Y. This is the Nintendo configuration. Of course, you can switch it. This right here, so you would be, this would be A, B, X, and Y. But buttons need to be buttons for me. So we'll load up the Dolphin emulator. Of course, in the initial process of kind of initializing this, you would be like, hey, here's some emulators that we believe that would be useful and all that. And I kind of went with some of them. One of them was like the mobile version of Dolphin emulator. I'm like, screw that. I'm just going to install Dolphin. And of course, a lot of these are... That's the thing, is that they're more supported on Android than they are on Linux. So let's see here. We got, every game I've tested on here has been great. Here we go. We'll do Mario Kart. Here's a good one. It's compiling shaders. One note while this is compiling. This is like, if you ever had a Vita, this is pretty much a Vita. Like, this is, I really enjoyed my Vita, but I just didn't know what to do with it. And at the time, oh, it just straight up crashed. At the time, I was just like, I'm kind of backing away. I was leaving, and I didn't want this anymore. But now that I have more free time, a little bit more, money to spend, I did buy this. This thing is awesome. Again, it is a little bit harder in the hands. If you're familiar with the Switch kind of layout, is very similar to that. For an extra like $20, you can get like a case that comes in a different color, and then you just like, boom, boom, and it just feels a lot better. Again, it's fun. It's great. So let's see if we can launch that again. No. Let's see here. Mario Kart. There we go. Go right here. So if you slide off to the right, you have like a little bit of a kind of like a menu system built into the OS. Let's see here. So you can even do key mapping too. Some games don't support stuff like that. Okay, let's turn that off. Screen map it. There we go. Crap, I pressed the wrong button. Audio sounds pretty fine too. Speakers are coming from here, but because I have this case, it is a little bit muffled. There's an SD card, supports 1 terabyte. Let's go. No. Let's do a time trial. Sure. And I'm small. Oh, where's Toad? Sure. We'll just do Luigi's circuit. I even got F-Zero running on here. A lot of the Nintendo games I've had run perfectly fine. Or GameCube games. I think the only problem I've had was like, Need for Speed. Underground was running a little bit different. Okay. I haven't played this in a little bit. But yeah, we can see in the top left, there's a FPS counter. That's part of the OS. And then top right, there's the Dolphin emulator. So yeah, it's like running really smooth. Nintendo games kind of look really good. I feel like GameCube was kind of their height of like, hey, these it peaks in GameCube. After that, they get like a little bit more like post-processing stuff. The Wii added Bloom. I hate Bloom, so we could just straight up exit this. But it just runs smooth. So yeah, I got it all on an SD card. There's PSP too. We'll try Vita. Vita is always a little bit weird. Like emulating Vita is always a kind of a like, hey, is this gonna work or not? It's like where they start more introducing DRM to games and all that stuff. Okay, let's see. Let's load. Sure. So yeah, we're running this at 60 FPS. It's like pretty smooth stuff. And of course, like you could also get like custom textures and all that stuff. So if you're familiar with all these, like, hey, it's good. They used to make games. God of War, like, now sucks. Where's my edge, like, for Sparta? Okay, I really thought I was going to die entering water. Okay, but that's enough of that. We can just exit to that. We can also press this button. So, again, we have start and select, left trigger, right trigger, L1, R1, or R2, D-pad. All feels really good. The button layout's a little bit weird, but hey, man, you get used to it. We have a back button right here and a home button here. And, of course, you can always just, like, what is it? Like, go here, you can just swipe it. Because it is Android, we can just clear that too. Let's see here. Let's see. Did I ever get anything on here? There we go. Let's see here. So, okay, yes, I just never tested these. Okay, let's, I know Super Stardust runs, but it is a little bit on the blur. There's more graphical bugs than anything else. And of course, the Vita did support, you know, touchscreen. There we go. Which is pretty wild. The Vita was so ahead of its time. Okay. Man, Sony used to put out games, man. That Astrobot is like getting good reviews. Is like, does anybody actually want to play? I don't know. It seems like only people play Mario platformers. So let's do that. Sure, casual arena. Sure. Okay. Is this gonna like? Did the button maps screw up? No, it's good. Like, see, it's running at 60 FPS. There is some like visual errors you can see. But hey, it's running. Like this is a great. Like the Vita had some really good fun games. Same thing with the PSP too. Okay, let's do that. Let's do that. Okay, we got PS2 with Aether SX. Of course, you do need to supply your own ROMs. The Anbernic did come with its own kind of built-in stuff, but this is all like, hey, you need to provide your own. We'll provide the emulation, which is 100% legal. I guess I didn't. Yeah, what we'll do it another time. We got DuckStation 2, but yeah, I'm again not a big fan of a lot of PlayStation. We also have RetroArt 2, which is like, hey, the go-to. Hey, this is going to be your best bet in terms of, you know, retro gaming and all that stuff. So I already got some cores on here. So we got a lot more Nintendo stuff, Sega stuff, and all that. So let's see. So if you're familiar, if your like go-to retro is RetroArch, getting this on Android is super easy. You can just download it from their website and all that. Okay, we'll go to favorites. The weird thing is that in RetroArch, this is A, this is B, and all of that. But once you get into the game, it switches back. So we got some favorites here. You know, we got Bejeweled. Here's a let's see here. Yeah, we'll do actually, you know what? Let's do this game right here, Zookeeper. This is the best game. So this is a DS game to show you what it looks like. So I have it set up where, like, hey, we have the main screen here, and then kind of the dual panel here, but I can also press a button. Jesus, sometimes I wonder if I screw up a little bit. And of course it is touchscreen. Did it update? I guess it did update somehow. It changed. But yeah, you get the drift. You can do a lot more fiddling and all that stuff. So we can just press back. You know, this is, if you're familiar with RetroArch, it's all here. It's all here. Let's see here. And then we can also do Citra, which is the 3DS emulator. So let's which one would be probably the best? Do I have Mario Kart on here? I really enjoyed the 3DS and the DS. Let's just do this one right here. So we have of course you can go into the settings. If you're familiar with Citra, you can go into settings and change a lot of this stuff. But hey, it's running 60 FPS right here. Not the best though. You can see that it's missing some stuff. Okay, let's close game. Let's try another one. Oh, here we go. Mario Kart. Mario Kart's a good benchmark. Now there is there is a Wii U or a Switch emulator for Android. There is no Wii U emulator for Android, but just everything is emulated on Android, which is really nice. Let's see here. We'll go to. Does any of these buttons work? Shit. Let's see here. Oh, single player. We'll do time trial. Sure. Yay! Dude, I do not remember this. I have this game on 3DS. Do I? No. I kind of gave up on Nintendo. I did buy a Switch, but like after Wii, I was just not happy with it. So again, we're running at 60 FPS, 59, whatever. And Jesus. I guess I've never really played the 3DS games on this. So your mileage may vary. Of course, you can tweak this a little bit more. So we can go, let's do this. So up here, we got some settings and all that stuff. So we can press this. We can do into high performance mode. There is a fan on here, but I have barely noticed it. So it sucks in air through here and sucks in air through here and then shoots this out. Wait, what is that port? Oh, that's the mini HDMI right there. Okay. And of course, there's the fan speed curve you could do in the sport and all that. But yeah, I'm really impressed by this thing. Let's see here. Another cool thing, I'll do this as my last video, is that because it is Android, you can play Android games on here. Zenless Zone Zero, I recently played that. It is a little bit harder to see on this. So, but I played it. PlayStation Remote Play, I didn't know Sony was such a shit company until I really played this. You have to like button map all the stuff into this. It doesn't read this controller. You have to have a DualShock controller or some sort of like variant. Probably like a Backbone would probably work too. On a side note too, I do have a Razer Kishi 2, which is like the Razer Kishi Pro. And so, if you have a phone, you could always get this and have a kind of very similar experience. I thought about doing this before, or even getting the Razer Edge, which is like $250 on Amazon. But this is just better. Like having the controller right there it's just a better experience because I've never had a good experience of this. Like it just feels, I don't know. You can also get a GameSir too. GameSir also makes like mobile controllers. There we go. Let's see here. Boom, boom. Like, it's fine. It's fine. This phone doesn't actually use the USB-C on this thing is so fucked up. So it doesn't really register, but it's more of a proof of concept. It's fine, but it's just, I don't know. It feels like the screen is bigger, longer, but it also feels like it's just like so much longer. But in terms of like, what do you want from emulation? Like, if you're really into emulation, if you're looking for more retro games, I do recommend Anbernic. They do make a horizontal one, but I think Anbernic is like your cheaper bet. You're gonna have a better time with like, it's a little bit more tinkery, but you're also it's cheaper. You're still gonna have the same experience. Of course, there's the Odin 2, TOO. They have a line of a higher end stuff. But at a certain point, once you get into like breaking into the 300 and 400 kind of range, your best bet is just to get a Steam Deck because it does all that. And then also it does like Switch, Wii U, perfectly fine. PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360, perfectly fine. Like, of course, it's not the best, but depending on the game, like I got bejeweled. I got some PlayStation 3 games like Dungeon Ground, some 2D games work perfectly fine on this. But it's just like, it's at what point do you just say, hey, because this is the end game of like the emulation. Of course, you can also get a like a ROG Ally or a Lenovo or whatever. But it's just like, what is your market? Do you want something cheap? This will be your Anbernic right down here. These are sub 100, and then once you get into your like Odins and Retroid Pockets, these are like $150 to $300, $400, and then at a certain point, just get a Steam Deck. But if you even want more power, just get the Asus ROG Ally, which is like, big chunky boy, which is significantly more powerful than the Steam Deck. It's just like, what do you want? Like, I think that's what really matters. I do have to say that if you're looking for a device, the Android ecosystem is pretty helpful. And of course, you know, you can do a lot more with Android than you can do with a custom Linux distro. But again, with when it comes to like a Steam Deck, you could do a lot more. Like I could put Windows on here if I wanted to, unless you have a Steam Deck OLED, which are the drivers are still a little bit weird. But anyways, I think this. Wow, I hope this video was informative. I do recommend it. Like I really like this device. I don't use this as much, but I do really recommend this device. Like if you're looking for something that's like, Anbernic has a whole line of devices that are like sub 100 that are great for retro and all that. It like depends on what you want. Like, do you want this form factor? Do you want like a form factor like this? You know, or do you want like something that's a little bit more like horizontal, like a Game Boy or something? They have that. So yeah. Anyways, I'll put links in the description to Anbernic and Retroid Pocket, and yeah. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.